Okay, welcome to this video on Jazz and Simulink integration. First, just briefly, some words on the concept. So we have built an integration platform, Smartfacts, that allows to integrate all these modeling tools into the Jazz world. And if we want to link Matlab Simulink models to Jazz, then this is possible using Smartfacts as a middleware. The idea is everybody uses his tool of choice. So we're using Matlab here and publish that model to Smartfacts, and from there we're able to work with Jazz or interact with Jazz via OSLC. All of these modeling tools have the same plugin, so all of them work the same way, and I'm going to show how Matlab can be used with DOORS Next. There is even more than this. We have built OSLC providers for Jira and for Confluence, but let's focus on Matlab to DOORS Next. So here's the demo story. In part one, we'll be doing the following. First, we publish a Simulink model to Smartfacts. I have done that already. Then we add a Simulink model to a Jazz global configuration. In the third step, we will select that global configuration in DOORS Next and navigate into a DOORS Next module. Here we will add some links to Simulink diagrams and elements, and finally we will check the links under a different global configuration. Okay, so here we are in DOORS Next. I select a requirement, and here in my links compartment I see a link. In this case it's a link to a Cameo model, and when I do a rich hover on this link, this will immediately pull up the diagram, and I see which diagram is actually linked to this requirement. So let's do this and add a link to a Simulink model. First, we want to go into the global config management. This is this global configuration with a Cameo model. Let's switch over to a different one and select a different global configuration. And now we will add a Simulink model. I am here in my model warehouse. I step into my tutorial, and here I have a Simulink model. That's a demo model from the MathWorks, and I will just add that to my global configuration. Now I have contributed this model to this global configuration, so we have a requirement stream in here and we have the Simulink model in here. Okay, let's go back to the stream. So we are in a different global configuration now than before. I go back into the stakeholder requirements module and select the requirement again, and as is expected, there is no link here right now. So now let's add a traced by architecture element. I have to select my model warehouse here, and now we want to add a diagram. It's called clutch. We just search for the diagram. This one here, this is a Simulink diagram I would like to add, and here we add the diagram. And of course, it is also possible to not only add the diagram, but also add a model element inside the diagram. So I just do this again. And say the second thing I want to link is this block. So both options are possible. When I rich hover on the diagram, I get that diagram I have just linked to, and when I rich hover on the model element, I get the underlying diagram. So I can also zoom into that, and this will tell me where in the diagram I have actually linked to. So that was very quick and easy. And now let's check if when we change the global configuration and the Simulink model is not part of that global configuration anymore, if we still see the links. We would expect that we don't. So we switch now, we switch to the global configuration with Cameo and say, okay, and when I select the requirement, then I get the Cameo model linked here as expected, and I can jump into that model. I can even use advanced functionality and ask what are the changes if we compare that to the version before. This will highlight all the changes in that model. So there is some advanced functionality you can use inside Doors Next. And so if we change back, so if we switch back into the global configuration we have used, where we have added our Simulink model, then the links are back again. Okay, so just as expected. Now, of course, we want to see those links also in Simulink, right? OSLC links are bidirectional, so you can add them from the Simulink side, you can add them from the Doors Next side, but you always want to see them from both sides. And of course, we have to add the functionality that you also set a global configuration inside Simulink. We've done that. We want to see all links of a diagram, and then we want to see the delegated UI of the other side of the link. So let's see how that works in Matlab. Okay, so here we are on the other side. We're on Simulink, and also in Simulink, I can select a global context. I navigate into the Jazz global configurations that have been stored in my project. I can even expand them, get the decomposition of that global configuration and check if this one is the right one. So let's select this one as our selected global configuration. And we can even load the requirements into the grid here in this plugin. We select the stakeholder requirement specification and we expand the hierarchy. And yes, you see basically a one-to-one representation of the Doors Next view right in your Simulink plugin. Actually, this plugin is not really integrated into the user interface. MathWorks doesn't allow that, but we have added a separate component that can be started and that interacts with Simulink. So yeah, let's see what happened to our links. We click on the Links tab and we expand the global links. And here is the traces requirement links. And we see that 14.007 has been linked twice, once to the whole diagram and a second time to this model element here. We can always jump from here into Doors Next. This will bring up the browser and we navigate into Doors Next into the right global configuration, into the right requirement. So this is very convenient, and we can also add links from this side by using the plus. It works very similar to the way adding links from the Doors Next side. So there's a very convenient interaction between the Doors Next content and a Simulink model. If I want to add links, I can also use this view and just navigate down, say, well, this requirement here should be linked to this block, and then I can use the local menu to say I want to add a link. And of course, I have to select a link type, and then I can easily add that link. So whenever I add a link, I get one of these dark gray bars here that show me that this requirement has a link, and here it is linked to the element friction mode logic, as we can see, and I can even navigate into that. Okay, so let's go to the third and last step. And finally, there is a third perspective. We can also view all that information in Smartfacts. We can also set a global configuration there, load the Simulink diagrams, the DOORS Next module into our user interface and check the traceability coverage. So let's do that. Okay, so here I am in Smartfacts, and as you can see, I can set global configurations also in Smartfacts. So I have stored 3 Jazz global configurations in my Smartfacts project. I can even navigate into them and see the decomposition. As you can see, here is our SL demo clutch Simulink model, and yeah, let's go ahead and make this our global context. So I've selected that one, and I can now go ahead and load the DOORS Next module. So you will see this in a read-only view. It is very, very similar to what you see in the original DOORS Next view. It's read-only, of course. You can read those requirements. They are formatted the same way as in the original. You see tables, you see images, everything is there. And when a requirement has links, then you see these dark gray bars, and you can hover on them and examine the links. So 14007 was our requirement. We can see the delegated UI of that requirement here. And when we hover on the dark gray bar, we see the 2 links we have added. We have added a link to this diagram, and we have added a link to a model element which was part of the diagram, so we can very easily navigate into that content. So when I load that to the left, then I have both information. I have the requirements on the right side and the model on the left side. Very easy also to add links here. So when I, for instance, select a block here and say this block should be, for instance, linked to this requirement, I just say add a link. I must select the link type, satisfies by requirement, for instance, and I generate that link, and there it is. So here, this is very easy to check requirement, to check links and manage links in this view with requirements and models at once. At the end, I would like to show you also our analysis center. So of course you want to make sure that the traceability coverage is good. So we want to check traceability. I select our SL demo clutch as context, and now we want to do an analysis and see of all which Simulink blocks and ports are linked via certain link types. Let's use all these links types here, and we do the analysis. We can also store those analyses. So here is what we have linked to requirements, and we can navigate into that and immediately see now this element here has been linked via a traces requirement to 14007, and here is the delegated UI of that. So very convenient. You can always see this as a well-formatted report or as raw data in Excel, and also download this Excel sheet. Of course, the other perspective might be more interesting to ask the question, which elements of this type here, which Simulink blocks and which Simulink ports, or let's say which Simulink blocks are not linked to any of these OSLC links. And if I start that analysis, then I get a larger list, and I can very easily say, well, which one is this here, and say, well, I would like to navigate into that element and then add the link. So this is kind of a to-do list for me to quickly add the links which are missing. Thank you for watching this.